Mark Woodward plays the role of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in the production. He joins us via Zoom from down in Florida. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jeremy.
So we were just talking over the break. This is so exciting for people who love productions and theater and musicals like myself. And there are just so many stories that are beloved by the public. And the story of Orphan Annie is definitely one of them. And for those that may be a little unfamiliar with the story, give us a little bit of background.
This is a story about optimism and hope in the face of adversity, and it's all through the lens of a comic strip character, little orphan Annie. She's an orphan and faces some hardships at the start of the story. Her nemesis is Miss Hannigan, who runs the orphanage that Annie is in, and Annie's determined to find her parents. She was left on the steps of the orphanage with a note that says, "We're going to come back and get you." And that whole story is her search for her parents and the lives that she changes as she's on that journey. And as she faces, adversity through choosing optimism. She meets a billionaire, Oliver Warbucks, and he decides that he wants to adopt her. No spoilers, you can Google all of this. And then she sort of, like Forrest Gump, she sort of, bumps into historical figures, myself playing Franklin Roosevelt, and she inspires the New Deal in a cabinet meeting. And then, wraps up everything at the end in a nice little Christmas bow.
It's definitely one of those stories that takes you on what I call an emotional roller coaster. You'll laugh one moment, you'll cry another. It'll warm your heart at the end. Now, let's talk a little bit of history. I'm no expert on this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the original story was published back in like 1924. And then the story took off in the 70s with the Broadway play that followed by the film that we saw a clip of. I believe that was 1982. And every decade since then, there's either been a tour in the States or the UK. Why do you think this story is passing the test of time with such staying power?
I think it's such a solidly, Martin Charnin and Charles Strouse, the writers, they just were so smart when they wrote this material. It just is such a well-constructed, war-proof piece of material. It's the classic musical. And it was written at a time, like you said, in the 70s when there was some turbulent, things in the political sphere. And I think we're sort of at the same time as a lot of polarization now. And I think it just resonates with people. And, Jen Thompson, who was our director, she was in the original production in the 70s on Broadway. She played the orphan Pepper. And she constantly is telling us in rehearsals, we're not doing like a sugar-coated, it's not a cream puff musical, which you think it might be. There's actually some grit there, and there's some adversity that's being faced. So like you said, it's got the dark and the light, and that's, I think, what really attracts people to it. You get a little dose of reality, even though you're watching a musical that's based on a comic strip.
Oh yeah, definitely up there with like your Sound of Music and your Wizard of Oz. It's one of those iconic shows for sure. And with that being said,
100%.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure to perform in one of those shows. So, I mean, it's proved time and time again to be a hit. How are you feeling about performing in it yourself?
Oh my gosh, this is my third year in the tour. We started in 2022. And so I've now logged in probably about 500 plus performances. And I love telling this story. And I love, like I said, what Jen, our director, what she's done with this story. And I love how she has shaped it. And I love the audience's response every night. There's people that are coming that are now bringing, their children and their grandkids to see this show. And there's just something for everyone to get. It's so fun when people are surprised by the plot, because it is so well known, and it's so fun to hear, the little kids in the audience is getting so engaged, and people come dressed up in costumes. It's just such woven into the fabric of our culture that I just feel very lucky and blessed to be a part of it and to tell this story to people across the states.
And we are just as blessed to talk to you about it. That is for sure, my friend. We cannot wait to share the details on when and where people can take part in this wonderful production, January 31st to February 2nd at Clowes Memorial Hall. Recommended ages are 6 and up. But if you just want to take the whole family, tickets are available now. Just head over to the website. Mark, thank you so much. Best of luck, or as we say in the theater, break a leg, my friend.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you all there.
No problem, my friend. You'll definitely see me.